The Enclave was all new last year, giving us a 2.5 liter turbocharged, dropping the V6, 3 trims to choose from, increasing the length, the width, making it a little taller, and we're showcasing the 2026 Buick Enclave Avenir in ebony twilight metallic over ebony interior. This year, you get more standard features, and when you go into the Avenir, you get a new animated feature for your headlights and the tail lights, and each trim is unique with the front fascia and the wheel design. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm gonna go over some pros and cons. We're gonna compare this against the competition to show you what you're getting when you get the Avenir Enclave. The best part about the Buick is they rebadged it a few years back. LED daytime runnings, headlights, and it has the animated. And the funny thing about this animated feature is you can turn it on and off multiple times. You don't have to keep locking the door like you would in something like an Audi. Obviously, this doesn't compare to an Audi. I'm just saying whenever you're doing an animated light, they kind of go over the top. When you get the Avenir, you're gonna have this difference of a grille. So it's a more glossy black with the chrome elements. The ST is going to be blacked out, and you'll have the chrome that's going to be here, front parking sensors, and the lower is going to have an active grille shutter with the chrome tip and 6.77 inches of clearance. Now, with all of the updated vehicles, like the Palisade, like the Telluride, and even expecting for the Pilot, is this still going to be a relevant vehicle? Because the price is actually going to be a touch more than some of those rivals, and underneath the hood is only going to have that 4-cylinder turbocharged 2.5 liter with 328 horsepower and 326 pound-feet of torque. Now that's a lot more motivation than the V6 that we lost, and it is achieving 20 mpgs for the city, 25 mpgs for the highway. It's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It is a little bit longer than the Pilot, so maybe it's gonna scratch that off the roster. But if Buick would have kept the V6, I think that this would be a top competitor. The Avenir is no joke, 275, 45, 22-inch wheels on all 4 corners. Now, a con that comes into play is the towing capacity is maxed at 5,000 pounds. The Telluride can go up to 5,500 pounds. But the payload is pretty impressive, 1,801 pounds out of this size vehicle. And the Grand Highlander, it's going to be more dough than this. Same towing capabilities. You got a lot of different trims, plus you have the Max Hybrid, which got a lot more power than this. But then your payload is actually better here. So you save the money, it's a little bit smaller than that variant, and you only have to go through 3 different trims, and when you go up the trims, you get it fully loaded because you only have a couple of features that you can even option on the Avenir. Unfortunately, the ST is truly the sweet spot when it comes onto the Enclave, because you're talking about a $10,000 difference to get the Avenir opposed to the ST, and the ST is going to look more sporty, this is going to look more luxurious, but really it's the interior features that set it apart. Dual exhaust that's exposed, but this is now a Turbo 4, so I really don't see the need for this. Reverse parking sensors, 360-degree reverse camera, LED tail lights. This also has the animated light. The digital rear view mirror is going to be hidden right here. Now it comes standard on the Avenir, but they should have tucked this underneath here as well, so it would just be a little bit more cleaned up. That way you could have opened this up. For tall people like me, it would have been a little bit easier, so we didn't have to go in through the tailgate. Now, by now, most of you that are followers of Hawkeye Rides know that I usually go fully loaded. Actually, that's what I do every time I buy a vehicle. But when it comes to a $10,000 difference in premium, I mean, exterior, you're gonna have to spend some dough, because for me, I'm gonna do a chrome delete. I don't wanna have all those chrome highlights. Even though I do like the Avenir print, maybe I would leave that. That's really the only thing that I would do different. But is it worth paying $10,000 more? I mean, wait till you see the interior. And if you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button, leave a comment and a like, because all these clicks and interactions help with the algorithm so we can bring more vehicles to the channel. Power liftgate going into 22.9 cubic feet of storage whenever it decides to open, which is quite a bit to be behind a 3rd row. You're gonna have your electronics to fold down the 3rd and 2nd row with a 12-volt charger. Underneath the floor, you get a huge storage bin, and it's removable. You'll just simply unscrew these here, and underneath it, you'll find your spare tire, and check out the depth. you have at least 8 to 9 inches and around 17.5 inches width, and it's around 42.5 inches wide. Now this might seem that I'm going a little over the top, but I'm just showing you that, I mean, you got a ton of space. That's 23.5 inches front to back, and side to side, 51.5 inches. To fold down the third row at a 60-40 split, push and hold the buttons, and that's going to fold down flat to increase your cargo capacity to 57.10 cubic feet, which is 53.5 inches long. And to get the 97.5 cubic feet, push these buttons here, folds down those captain seats, maxing that cargo capacity. And for those do-it-yourselfers, that's over 7 feet front to back. Plus, you can fold things in the center there to make it well over 7.5 feet. The key fob to the Enclave Avenir. Check out this 30-inch ultra-wide screen that was implemented for this all-new design. 12-way power seat adjustment for the passenger, 14-way power seat adjustment for the driver. Quilted leather upholstery, heated ventilated massage seats. You get the Avenir script, memory for the driver, as well as the Bose sound system. The updates were well welcomed when it comes to the Enclave. As for leg space for the passenger, I got about 5 to 6 inches. It is a driver-focused setup. You get the satin aluminum, and it's like a 3-tier part, but I do like the pattern design that they have because it's perforated here. You get some glossy black, and you actually have physical buttons with the wireless charging pad more towards the passenger, as well as a 12-volt charger and a full pass-through. But then they go glossy black everywhere here. Let's fire it up. Now when you go Avenir, you get a heads-up display, you get the digital rear view mirror. This last year you had to option. It also has the auto-dimming rear view mirror, the home link. You get LED interior lights, a large panel moonroof that goes into the second row, and the ventilated seats start here. That's the only way you could get that, as well as the massage seats, because the sport trim has heated seats. You could get a cool gray color or this black. So that's definitely a con because you don't have a lot of interior colors. You do get a 360-degree reverse camera. You could also get this on the ST. The trajectory expands. You have a lot of different camera angles that you can do for this vehicle with tri-climate control settings, and I like that it has physical buttons. And you have a little change area here where you can put the key fob, cup holders. It's going to be a little bit more sporty, and it's a little bit more smaller. Nope, you lift that up and it's actually pretty darn deep. Buick gives you a ton of storage capacity for the front. With a wrap steering wheel, the ST will have a flat wrap steering wheel. It's heated, multi-function. You get the paddle shifts, Super Cruise Control. This is why it's over $60,000. And the gauge cluster has a digital reader, which I would leave it like this because I like to see the navigation on both sides. You have your wireless connectivity, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM with 360L Plus. This is 5G capabilities for your Wi-Fi. As for leg space for the driver, I got about 5 to 6 inches as you're seeing on the tape. Headroom, do they do a good job? I think they do. I mean, you have about 3 or 4 inches, so it's more than enough. Door panel and dash, it configures it together nicely, but because we're at over $62,000, I would like this material to be a little bit more soft, this to be in the dashboard, similar to the Yukons, because, I mean, you're not so far off from getting a Yukon at this price point. It's going to be soft to rest your arms. You get the wood inlays. One touch up and down is only for the driver window. You do have sound deadening though, that's going to be for the engine housing through the interior, with a medium storage pocket and a beverage holder carved out. For the back seats, this is the opening that you have to fit 2 more with the captain seat configuration. We do not get any manual sunshades, power sunshades, and when you're over $62,000, you need at least a manual. It's going to be soft here. It's also perforated. You get the wood, ambient lighting. You get the Bose sound system that comes into play. It just looks very luxurious, except for down here, it's very GMC-ified. Medium-sized storage pocket, and sitting behind me, well, the seats are kind of carved out for you. You get storage behind both of the front seats, as well as about 3 inches of actual knee space. Now you can move this back, which will increase my leg space to nearly 6 inches. So it actually is quite a bit. The Avenir, you get the 3rd climate control, heated rear seats, 2 USB-C ports, home plug, a storage tray tucked underneath there. Kind of wish this was lifted up a little bit more one push to get into the third row. Maybe two pushes. There it is. It's gonna adjust forward, giving us nearly 18 inches of space. It's really about 17 to 17 and a half to get in for 3 more occupants to sit back here. You get cup holders, a mint holder, USB-C ports are back here. Let's move this seat back. And now for knee space, the moment of truth. I have maybe half an inch to no inches, and I would be sharing a ton of space here. As for headroom, it's actually carved out, so you have quite a bit in the third row, and the air vents are stationed right in front of me, so I'm always feeling the air. Sliding into the center, I basically would just do this because it wouldn't make sense to sit like this. There's absolutely no knee space. If this is pushed back all the way and reclined, I can't even fit back here. You can see I'm gonna be sharing a ton of space, butt, leg, and shoulder space, but I still have at least about 16 to maybe 16 and a half inches. So it's actually not that bad considering I'm never gonna be sitting in the back seats. 328 horsepower, 326 pound-feet of torque. It has the motivation. When you go into these Turbo 4s, one thing off the line, they're always powerful. So that's not something that I'm going to be concerned about there. It's really whenever I'm going in between traffic and people just walking in the middle of the road here. So now, I will say that you're going to feel like you're hitting a higher RPM all the time. That's basically where I'm getting at with these Turbo 4s. I personally own a Turbo 4 SUV, the Infiniti QX60. We had the V6 and we had a buyback, so we ended up having to do the VC turbocharged 4. And what I notice a lot with these vehicles, especially owning them, is the fact that you're hitting that higher RPM. The MPGs is really not that much of a difference. And I just don't see why they even went this route. I think the V6 is a little bit more refined of a drive. Don't get me wrong, it's still smooth and composed. But I gotta constantly hear the engine just whining to get up to speed. You didn't have to do that so badly on the V6 that we lost. Even though the sound deadening's improved, you can only improve it so much when you're hitting a higher RPM. The seat comfort is good. The Avenir is a great trim to go to if you're all right with spending over or around $10,000 more than the ST, which to me is the sweet spot because you can still capture most of the features here, adding features, and still save a good amount of dough. It just feels like it's doing it every single time. Now, what I always like to do with these smaller engines is slow down to about 30, and now floor. And you see the turbo lag, which is going to be expected because it's a longer vehicle, it's wider, it's also a little bit more heavier. But I do like the clearance that you get with this because it's not that large of an SUV, but it feels very large and very wide. Maneuverability. Steering is pretty light too, so it's more for the luxury side. Braking on the vehicle, we're gonna take a test on that right now. Actually stops really good. I mean, if you put it all the way to the floor or around 80%, literally will just come to a stop. And turn radius, longer, wider. What are we getting? 2.5 lanes. Let's rock and roll. And whether you're in sport mode like I was in, or you just go into tour, it really doesn't change much of the pedal or the feel to the steering. And sadly, you're at a higher price. So once I entertain a $60,000+ vehicle, I get it. I'm paying around $3,000 for this and a few little safety features that's added. But still, it should give me some feedback on the steering and the pedal so that way I feel like I'm in a sport mode instead of feeling like it's dragging just like it does in normal. Everything else is brilliant. The way this vehicle is designed, I think they did an excellent job on the exterior and the interior. It looks like an SUV, not a lifted up minivan. Interior, you got this huge screen, and it's still kind of minimalistic because you only have a few buttons here, a few buttons here. There's a ton going on in the steering wheel, but a lot of that also is for the adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, and the super cruise control itself. The cons is you have to pay subscription fees for this, plus you're paying $3,000-ish just to have it added, and it doesn't work in all areas. I can't actually get it to work in this area because it doesn't read the roads. Some other cons is the seats are comfortable, but they're not as plush as the price illustrates, especially if I'm paying $10,000 premium over the ST. I like that we got the massage seats, but then it doesn't massage the butt. The digital rear view mirror, because this is a larger vehicle, I wish that the rear view mirror was a little bit longer. I guess where I'm getting at with the pros and cons is it feels like it's a GMC just masked with a Buick plate, so it feels a little bit more upscale and luxurious, charging a little bit more of a premium. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out this next video right here.